Welcome Toastmasters, guests, and what's the term for you?
Area governor.
Area governor, thank you. Yes, today is my icebreaker, and I was going through the first manual here. Something caught my eye, and I feel that I have the liability to tell you about something that says that the promise of the Toastmaster is to maintain honest and high integrity. I have to tell you, I intend to steal something from every one of you. Don't grab your wallets, that's not what I'm going to steal. I'm going to steal something that I know each and every one of you have, and that's a talent. Whether it's a phrase, the way you hold your hands, expression of your face, I'm going to watch it, I'm going to steal it, it's going to be mine. Be right in front. The icebreaker is an opportunity for you to get to know me, and I believe in win-win situations. I feel that you're going to get to know me, I want to get to know you. For example, how many of you had a teacher growing up that just bored you to tears? History teacher. Names and dates, names and dates. How many of you had the teacher like that? Can I see by raise of hands? Okay, thank you. See if you can finish the sentence. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in
1492.
You had Mrs. Kravitz? That was my teacher. That's the way they taught. How many of you had a teacher that brought history to life? Whenever they were talking about Gettysburg, you could hear the cannon going off. You could smell the smoke. You were there while that teacher was teaching. How many of you had teachers like that? I loved teachers like that. If you want to know somebody, find out what their passion is. I know what your passion is, and I could talk to you about Dr. Carson, and we could have a good conversation. I think I know what your passion is. Okay, let me guess. Theater, arts. I don't know the rest of your passions, but I will find out. This is my passion. This is how I wanted to be taught history. The name of this book is From Fear to Freedom. World War II, Never Forget, Never Again. If you want to know something about history, I recommend picking up that book. It's a story about Nikki. Nikki, when she was a little girl, was running into her grandfather's living room, just all excited. Grandpa, Grandpa, look what I found. Around her neck was a pair of goggles, and on her head was a leather helmet, balanced there by her two tiny hands, while she was smothered in his flight jacket. He puts down the newspaper, stands up, and gives her a salute. Picks her up, puts her on his lap, takes the helmet off, and tells her about this helmet. The helmet that she was wearing was his father's helmet that he wore in World War I. He said, do you want to see the rest of the treasures? She's so excited. She said, yeah, let's see the rest of the treasures. So in together they go into the master bedroom, where he looks and he sees the cedar chest, the lid's closed on it with fairly, the articles of clothing smashed on the lid. And he gets down on his knees so he could be eye to eye level with his granddaughter. She's so excited. She's got her legs crossed. Now for any of you who have little kids, remember that as the pee-pee dance. So he gets down and he starts to open up the lid and he makes a creaking sound. That was all she could take. She drops off the coat. She goes running down the hall. Don't open it yet, I gotta go potty. While she's gone, he hurries and straightens everything up that she had rifled through. And just as he's closing the lid, she comes running back in, puts on the coat and says, okay now. And once again, opens the lid. He picks up the first article, a white, modest dress. And he says, this is what your grandma wore when we got married. And I'll bet she can still fit into it. And he lovingly puts it on the bed. Next he takes out his dress uniform. He says, this is what I was married in. And there's no way I can get into that. And he goes through the articles. One of the articles was a quilt. This is your grandmother's first quilt that she made when we got married. And we put it in the treasure chest for safekeeping. As he got through the rest of the things, down at the bottom of the cedar chest was a small wooden box. He picks it up and he rubs his hand over the top, feeling the beautiful wood grain. He says, you know what's inside, Nicky? Silver and gold. Opens up the lid, and sure enough, there were the medals that he had received for protecting this country, including his Purple Heart. Nicky grew up learning the history like no history teacher could ever teach Nicky. When she graduated from college, she graduated as an investigative reporter. And it was at that time she heard the story that took her to Germany. Would you like to hear it? Commandant Schmidt was in charge of the hundreds of Hitler's prison camps. Commandant Schmidt was in charge of the one where a young Army Air Corps pilot, Captain James Hansen, was held. The Commandant had countless rules, each with its own punishment. Escape attempts carried the death penalty. Captain Hansen tried to escape, and like the others before him, he was caught, dragged back to camp. But he was given a choice as to how to die: the firing squad or an unknown fate deep in the woods. When they came to a stop, Hansen knew what the other choice was, and it's what he feared the most. What was it? Only Commandant Schmidt knew, and he kept that a secret. Nicky travels to Germany, tracks down Commandant, and finds out what it was. It was, oh, I'm out of time. I'm sorry. You'll have to get the book and find out what it was.